IBF Championship in a few weeks' time. Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. It's a wonderful, terrific matchup. Which way are you swinging on that?
I think Joseph Parker will win the fight because Daniel Dubois, he never fight someone. We saw Daniel Dubois against Usyk, and Daniel Dubois doesn't want to fight someone who's moving a lot, and I think Joseph Parker is going to do the same. That's my opinion. I think Daniel Dubois, he will be in the shit. So Parker will take over and win the fight.
Real 50.
Wow. Those are the words of Martin, the last king of Scotland, Bakole. And he states that he believes that Joseph Parker will beat Daniel Dubois. And he's not alone. You know, Alex Krusik thinks that a lot of fighters, a lot of people think that Joseph Parker will be victorious against Daniel Dubois. And, him stating the reasons why makes me know or understand that Martin Bakole knows boxing. Okay. He compared Usyk, another guy that's agile, that has the mobility. He's seen how he gave him problems. That's why I'm so interested in this fight, me personally, simply based off the fact that Daniel Dubois, his last three opponents have been what, really? Stationary. They've been stationary opponents. You think about Jarrell Miller, definitely stationary. One-dimensional Ergovic, stationary. Joshua, stationary. Because those guys thought that they were going to fight fire with fire and ended up finding out that Daniel Dubois was better than they thought he was. Because they thought he was going to do what he did in 2023, okay, and 2020. So there you go. And on top of that, speaking of Jarrell Miller was also one of the guys that let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, and start talking about what either he heard or what someone told him, that Daniel Dubois' team didn't like the fight with Joseph Parker simply because Joseph Parker moved around too much, meaning this guy's mobile and he can move to avoid your onslaught of punches and combinations, right? So if that's true, and I don't even really think, because I repeat, nobody is talking about that. If you notice, nobody's talking about the idea that Jarrell Miller said, you know what, I heard they didn't even want to fight Joseph Parker because he moved around too much. That's why they wanted to pick me, but he's stupid because he picked me because I'm going to beat his ASS and I'm going to send him home and he's a little shrimp and he's this and he's that. You remember that, okay, the rant that Jarrell Miller said about him.
Getting there with the likes of me, He was scared to fight Joseph Parker. I heard Joseph Parker move too much for him, so he don't want to chase him around. So he thought because I'm inactive, he gonna fight a big guy like me. But I come forward and I'm just mean, hungry. And like I said before, there's nothing he's gonna do to me that's gonna bother me.
So there you go. I think people should take heed on that because I think that they needed enough. They needed a couple fights more to take on someone like Joseph Parker. They didn't feel comfortable enough in 2023, or late 2023, to take on somebody like Joseph Parker at that point because Joseph Parker, of course, Daniel was coming off a loss. Joseph Parker had won 3 straight fights or 2 straight fights, or was that his 3rd fight? I'm not sure, but he had a slew of fights in 2023 on his rebuild stage. I don't think they was ready for that at that time. And nobody is contesting it. Nobody is saying that, we weren't ready. You know what? Jarrell Miller's a liar. Jarrell Miller ain't telling the truth. That's not correct, what Jarrell Miller said. Nobody is saying that. I just want people to think about that just for a second. Nobody's saying that. So that being said, people, Martin Bakole picking Joseph Parker for that reason is the same reason that they did not allegedly want to fight Joseph Parker in the first place when Turki Al-Sheikh came with this atomic bomb of these slew of venues and fights like the Days of Reckoning. But you guys tell me what you think of Martin Bakole picking Joseph Parker to beat Daniel Dubois, along with others. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!